This is Geary Yelton with Keyboard Magazine. I am here with DJ Spooky, and he's going to tell us a bit about what he's doing at the Moog Festival.
Well, for me, Moog, Bob, he came to my studio a couple of years back before he passed away, and we ended up talking about this idea of how technology was about looking at different ways of organizing information and giving a sense of utility. So a keyboard, whenever you think of a keyboard or whenever you think of an interface, or even if you're typing on a keyboard or if you're playing on a music instrument, there is essentially a way of organizing your thoughts and presenting in a systematic way, right? So he was good at sorting out this idea of systems of communication applied to sound. It was applied to music. And I'm a big fan of, think of him, Leonard Theremin, and a couple other music inventors of the 20th century as key figures for updating our 21st century idea of the creative act. You know, it's like you can only think about the tools from the point of view of how you use them, you know.
How has what he's done influenced the tools that you were using in tonight's performance, for example?
Tonight I was using my iPhone app. Here I can show you really quickly. I was using it on the iPad, not the iPhone, but just the basic idea. You can see it's like boom, DJ Spooky, and it integrates your iTunes library onto the iPad or iPhone, turns it into a mixing board, and you can then if you hold it horizontal, it becomes landscape mode. You hear the kind of like glitches and stuff, so you get a sense of dynamic and very easy kind of like kind of notions of like.
And that's available now on iTunes?
Yeah. And it's free.
Oh, even better.
And so to make a long story short, tools are essentially extensions of the use that we need them for. So, there's a whole Marshall McLuhan thing, the eye versus the book, or the nervous system versus the internet, or the electrical grid. And that's okay, but basic vibe is like each of us uses the materials around them in a specific way. Like if a musician uses a composition like written notes, or an engineer writes a sense of software or builds a dam. Those are all things that are relating to the creative, whatever training they've received and whatever arc they want to follow. So for me tonight, I was working my iPhone stuff because I'm intrigued by this notion of the portable studio. And the cell phone and the iPad and all these tools are transforming what normally have been phonograph for me, the record player. So Moog, is one of those guys that really was able to interface and update people's ideas of new tools, new forms. And that's what I was doing tonight.
Thanks very much. I appreciate your time.
Cheers.